عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى ثم الصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وبعد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, today is the 13th day of Ramadan, right? Time is moving very fast. Subhanallah. Today is the 13th day of Ramadan, which is equivalent to May 6, 2020, and we are continuing our class on the Tafsir of Surah Qalam, which is the pen. Yesterday, we mentioned the story of the people of the garden and what happened to them because of their stinginess and because of their lack of fulfillment of what their father used to do. And we mentioned how they ended up repenting and regretting and acknowledging that they were those who were wrong. And they glorified Allah the Almighty, hoping that Allah the Almighty will replace what He has taken away from them. And this is how we should do, when you fall short. Whenever you fall short, just turn back to Allah. So there are many lessons we take from this story that Allah the Almighty has narrated to us about the people of Garden. The first is, if you are blessed with wealth, do not forget the poor. The second is, if you stumble and make a mistake, remember to return back to Allah the Almighty and repent, and Allah the Almighty will open His doors for you. Now we're going to move to the next verse, which He the Most High mentioned about the reward which He has prepared for those who are pious. He said, "Inna lil-muttaqina inda rabbihim jannatin na'im." He said, indeed, for those who fear their Lord, theirs will be Garden of Eden with their Lord. We already mentioned the definition of al-muttaqin, which is taqwa. Yesterday, do you remember what we said about taqwa?
Yesterday?
No, that was the class before.
No, I don't remember.
What is the fear of Allah? How would you define the fear of Allah?
Define his fear of Allah? I do remember.
I mean, it your own phrase. You can say it on your own phrase.
Oh, about the punishment of Allah. That's how you fear him, about what He can do to you as far as the punishment, like the hellfire, and just in general, like making your life difficult in any type of way you want to, like this coronavirus crap right here. And yeah, that's what I think of right now.
The coronavirus crap.
Yeah, this stuff is scary, man.
All right. So, in brief, the word taqwa, in Arabic, it means al-wiqaya, which means prevention, protection. When you protect yourself, what do you protect yourself from? From something that is harmful, right? And the greatest harm, of course, is the hellfire. Just as the greatest benefit is Jannah. So when you fear Allah, you are trying to protect yourself from the punishment of the hellfire, which is Jahannam, right? But how do you do that?
By doing good deeds.
By doing good deeds and staying away from sins. That is the definition of taqwa, right? To place between you and the punishment of Allah the Almighty a barrier by adhering to His do's and abstaining from His don'ts. When you do this, we call you al-muttaqi, right? So this is what taqwa is. So here the Messiah is saying that for those who fear their Lord, theirs will be garden of Na'im, garden of bliss. Then here the Messiah is saying, أَفَنَجْعَلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ. This is a question. Should we treat those who submit to His will and do righteous deeds like the way we will treat those who are criminals and rebel against Him? Of course not. So the people of Mecca, they disbelieve in Allah, but they expect Him to be treated like those who believe in Allah. And this, of course, doesn't make any sense, right? This contradicts with the wisdom of Allah, the Almighty. That's why if you read the Quran, you come across few verses where the Messiah is saying this, like in Surah Sad, the Messiah said, وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا بَاطِلًا. Indeed, we have not created the heavens and the earth and what is between them in vain. ذَلِكَ ظَنُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. That is the assumption of those who disbelieve. فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنَ النَّارِ. Therefore, woe to those who disbelieve from the punishment of the hellfire. Then he, the Most High, said afterwards, أَفَنَجْعَلُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ كَالْمُفْسِدِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Are you expecting us to treat those who believe and do righteous deeds like those who make corruption on the face of the earth? أَمْ نَجْعَلُ الْمُتَّقِينَ كَالْفُجَّارِ. Or are you expecting us to treat those who are pious like those who are criminal and wicked? Of course, this contradicts with the wisdom of Allah the Almighty, and this contradicts with the sound intellect, alright? So we ask Allah the Almighty to grant us understanding of the deen. Ameen. So here the Most High is saying, أَفَنَجْعَلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. Now he's saying to the people of Quraysh, what's the matter with you? كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. How do you come up with this type of judgment? Like, does it make any sense? مَا لَكُمْ كَيْفَ تَحْكُمُونَ. How did you come up with this judgment? أَمْ لَكُمْ كِتَابٌ فِيهِ تَدْرُسُونَ. Or do you have a book with you from which you read? Meaning, do you have any a divine book with you that is telling you that Allah the Almighty said He's going to treat those who do righteous deeds like the way He treat those who did wicked? Of course, you don't have any evidence on what you are saying. So Allah the Almighty, أَمْ لَكُمْ كِتَابٌ فِيهِ تَدْرُسُونَ إِنَّ لَكُمْ فِيهِ لَمَا تَخَيَّرُونَ. Or do you have a book in which you read that on the day of judgment you will get what you want from Allah the Almighty, even though you disbelieve in Allah the Almighty? It doesn't make any sense. أَمْ لَكُمْ أَيْمَانٌ عَلَيْنَا بَالِغَةٌ إِلَى يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّ لَكُمْ لَمَا تَحْكُمُونَ. Or do you have any covenant with Allah the Almighty, which Allah the Almighty assured you that on the day of judgment you will get what you want? Of course, Allah the Almighty is asking them these questions because of the claim that they are making. But of course, they don't have any proof. Then He, the Most High, said, Salhum, ask them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ayyuhum bidhalika za'im. Which of them will be responsible for those claims? Which of them will be responsible to stand and say, yes, Allah the Almighty has taken the covenant with us that on the day of judgment He's going to admit us in Jannah, despite the fact that we have disbelieved in Him, despite the fact that we have associated partners with Him, despite the fact that we did not do what He asked us to do. Even the Prophet ﷺ, even though, yes, he knows, but out of humbleness, Allah the Almighty has commanded him to say, Ma adri ma yuf'alu bi wala bikum. I do not know what is going to happen to me or to you on the day of judgment. He is saying this out of humbleness. But of course, the Prophet knows that he's going to Jannah. Allah the Almighty has given him the glad tidings of Jannah. He has seen his sitting place in Jannah in the hadith of the Ru'ya, which is the hadith of the dream, when Jibril and Mikael took him to the heavens. And when they took him to the heavens, the Prophet asked them, where is this? They said, this is Jannatul Adn, this is the Garden of Eden, and this is your abode. So he said to them, all right, let me enter my Jannah. You're good to go now, right? So they said to him, no, as for now, no, but you will enter it, meaning you will enter Jannah after you die. So the Prophet knows his abode in Jannah. He even knows the abode of his companions, that they will be in Jannah. But out of humbleness and humility, Allah the Almighty commanded the Prophet to say, I do not know what will happen to me on the day of judgment. So we ask Allah the Almighty to grant us understanding of this deen. Ameen. Then He, the Most High, said, Am lahum shuraka'u falya'tu bi shuraka'ihim in kanu sadiqin. Or do they have associate gods, meaning the gods that they are worshipping, who are testifying to them that on the day of judgment you will be treated like the way the believers will be treated? Of course, they don't have anyone to stand for this testimony. So He, the Most High, said afterwards, يَوْمَ يُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ. وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ فَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ. On the day when the shame will be exposed. The shame will be exposed. And they will be called to make sujood, and they will not be able to do so. Our noble scholar, Imaam al-Qurtubi, mentioned the explanation of this verse in the hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudari, where Abu Sa'id al-Khudari said that a group from the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they asked the Prophet saying, Ya Rasulullah, they said, O Messenger of Allah, Hal nara Rabbana yawm al-qiyamah? Will we see our Lord on the day of judgment? So Allah the Almighty said to them, the Prophet ﷺ said to them, How tudaruna fi ru'yat al-qamar laylat al-badr laysa baynakum wa baynaha hijab. Do you have any difficulties seeing the moon in its full night when there is no cloud blocking between you and the moon? The companion said no. And then the Prophet said to them again, How tudarun fi ru'yati ash-shamsi bil-dhahirati laysa baynakum wa baynahu hijab. Do you have any difficulties seeing the sun at noon when there is no cloud covering between you and the sun? They said no. Then the Prophet ﷺ said to them, فَكَذَلِكَ تَرَوْنَ رَبَّكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ لَيْسَ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَهُ حِجَابٌ. Like this you will see your Lord on the day of judgment. There will be no barrier between you and Allah. We ask Allah the Almighty to make us amongst those who will see Him on the day of judgment. Ameen. And this is from the creed of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We believe that we will see Allah the Almighty because the proofs for that are mentioned in the Quran and in various ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the people of the innovations claim that we will not see Allah because we will not be able to see Allah, even though He the Messiah mentioned it clearly in the Quran in Surah Al-Qiyamah. He the Messiah said, وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ. So some faces on that day will be delighted looking at their Lord. So the Ahlul Sunnah believe that we will see Allah on the day of judgment. Then Abu Sa'id al-Khudari continued to narrate to us the hadith. He said, إِذَا كَانَ يَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ, that the Prophet ﷺ said, when the day of judgment arrives, أَذَّنَ مُؤَذِّنٌ لِيَتَّبِعْ كُلُّ أُمَّةٍ مَا كَانَتْ تَعْبُدُ. A proclaimer will proclaim, and he will say, let every ummah, let every nation follow that which they used to worship in the dunya. فَلَا يَبْقَ أَحَدٌ مِمَّنْ كَانَ يَعْبُدُ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ مِنَ الْأَوْثَانِ وَالْأَشْجَارِ وَالْأَصْنَامِ إِلَّا اتَّبَعُوهُ فَيَتَسَاقَطُونَ فِي النَّارِ. Then the Prophet said, all those who used to worship other gods beside Allah, those who used to worship idols, trees, statues that are carved from trees, and stones, they will follow their idols, and these idols will lead them to the hellfire. And this is a statement of Allah the Almighty in Surah Anbiya. إِنَّكُمْ وَمَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ حَصَبُ جَهَنَّمْ أَنْتُمْ لَهَا وَارِدُونَ. You and the gods that you worship beside Allah will be the fuel of Jahannam. Therein you will abide forever. May the Almighty grant His protection from that. Ameen. So the Prophet said these people will follow their false idols that they used to worship in the dunya, and these false idols will drag them to the hellfire. حتى إذا لم يبق إلا من كان يعبد الله وحده وبقية أو كبر من أهل الكتاب. Then the Prophet said, until when it is left with only those who single out Allah the Almighty alone with worship, and the remnant of the people of the books. And the remnant of the people of the books is referred to those who claim to be the followers of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam after the coming of Isa and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the remnant of the people of the book from the Christians are those who claim to be the followers of Jesus after the coming of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is a claim. The reason being is because if you are a true follower of Moses, then you should believe in Jesus alayhi salatu wasalam. And if you are a true follower of Jesus, then you should believe in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. But they claim to be the followers of Jesus, but in reality, they are not. So the true followers of Jesus are the Muslims. The true followers of Moses are the Muslims, and not the Jews. So it will be said to the Jews, Ya ma'shara Yahud, O group of Jews, Mada turidun, Mada kuntum ta'budun. What did you used to worship when you were in the dunya? And the Jews will say, Kunna na'budu Uzair ibn Allah. We used to worship Ezra, the son of God. Not all Jews believe that Ezra is the son of God, just as not all Christians believe that Jesus is the son of God. But this hadith is particularly referring to those Jews who believe that Ezra is the son of God. And there are some Jews from Yemen who claim that Ezra is the son of God. And Ezra, his story is mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, because Ezra was traveling one day and he passed by a city. And that city was in total ruination, meaning everybody in the city is dead. And the building of the city is in total ruination. So Ezra looked at this city and he said, Anna yuhyi hadhihi Allah ba'da mawtiha. How can Allah the Almighty raise these people after they are dead? And he is saying this out of amazement, not because he did not believe that Allah the Almighty has the ability to raise them, but he was just amazed. How is that going to happen? So Allah the Almighty wanted to show him a sign. So what happened? Allah the Almighty caused him to die for a period of 100 years. And he was traveling with his donkey and his food. So after 100 years of sleeping right there, Allah the Almighty sent the angels and he put his spirit back to him. So he raised up back to life. And when he raised up back to life, the angels asked him, how long have you been sleeping in this place? He said, لَبِثْتُ يَوْمًا أَوْ بَعْضَ يَوْمٍ. I was sleeping here for maybe a day or half a day. And it is said to him, بَلْ لَبِثْتَ مِئَةَ عَامٍ. You've been sleeping here for 100 years. انظر إلى طعامك وشرابك لم يتسنى. Look at your food and your drink. It did not age. Now Allah is going to show him a sign. So look at your food and your drink. It did not age. وانظر إلى حمارك ولنجعلك آية للناس. But look at your donkey. The donkey that he's traveling with, he tied the donkey up next to him and he died, right? After 100 years, the donkey has rotten and become what? Bones. All the meat has decayed and is left with only bones. But the food that he has with him remained fresh for 100 years. It did not go bad. So Allah Almighty is making the impossible possible and the possible impossible. Usually if you leave food out there for 2 or 3 days, the food will start to decay and go bad. But the food remained fresh, not in the refrigerator, out there for a period of 100 years. It did not age. But his donkey died and decayed and become rotten bones. So Allah Almighty commanded the donkey to come back to life, and the donkey came back to life. So when the Jews saw this about Ezra, they were very amazed of what happened to him. So they started to say Ezra is the son of God. As he the Most High mentioned in Surah At-Tawbah, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرُ ibn Allah وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى الْمَسِيحَ ibn Allah. So the Jews said Ezra is the son of God, and the Christians also said the Messiah is the son of Mary, is the son of God. And what did Quraysh say? Who did they claim that is are children of God? You told me the question that you right away, right?
Quraysh?
Yeah.
Quraysh said,
You don't know, right? But do you know that they also attribute children to Allah? So the Jews attributed children to Allah, a child to Allah, and that is Ezra. The Christians attributed a child to Allah, and that is Jesus. And the Quraysh attributed. Okay, let me give you a clue, right? Allah Almighty says, أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ اللَّاتَ Uzza, right? ومناة الثالثة الأخرى ألكم الذكر وله الأنثى. Allah the Almighty also said, وَجَعَلُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ إِنَاثًا. Right? They made the angels who are servants of Allah the Almighty to be females. So they claim that the angels are daughters of Allah the Almighty. That's why Allah the Almighty said, you have attributed males to yourself and attributed females to Allah. وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ بِالْأُنْثَى ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ muswaddan. When one of them is given a glad tidings of a baby girl, he is angry. So Allah Almighty said, you are attributing girls to Allah, but then when you are blessed with a baby girl, you get angry. So تِلْكَ إِذَا قِسْمَةٌ ضِيزَى. So the point that I'm trying to make here is the kuffar of Quraysh claim that the angels are daughters of Allah, and Jews claim that Ezra is the son of God. So on the day of judgment, they will be asked, who do you used to worship? And they will say, we used to worship Ezra, the son of God. And it will be said to them, كَذَبْتُمْ, you are liars. مَتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ صَاحِبَةٍ وَلَا وَلَدٍ. Allah the Almighty has neither a wife or a child. فَمَاذَا تَبَغُونَ? What then do you want? فَيَقُولُونَ عَطِشْنَا يَا رَبَّنَا فَاسْقِنَا. They say, oh our Lord, indeed we are thirsty, therefore give us some water to drink. They will say, our Lord, indeed we are thirsty, therefore give us some water to drink. فَيُشَارُ إِلَيْهِمْ أَلَا تَجِدُونَ. Then it will be pointed at for them, meaning Jahannam will be pointed at for them. It will be said to them, won't you go and get some water? ثُمَّ يُشَارُونَ إِلَى جَهَنَّمْ. Then they will be marched to the hellfire. يَحْتِمُ بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا. Some of them crashing on the others. فَيَتَسَاقَطُونَ فِي النَّارِ. And they will end up to the hellfire. May Allah Almighty protect us from that. Amen. Then the Prophet said, ثُمَّ يُقَالُ لِلنَّصَارَى. Then it will be said to the Christians, يَا مَعْشَرَ النَّصَارَى مَاذَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْبُدُونَ. O group of Christians, what did you used to worship? فَيَقُولُونَ كُنَّا نَعْبُدُ الْمَسِيحَ ابْنَ اللَّهِ. We used to worship the Messiah, Jesus, son of God. فَيُقَالُ لَهُمْ كَذَبْتُمْ. And it will be said to them, you are lies. مَتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ مِنْ صَاحِبَةٍ وَلَا وَلَدٍ. Allah the Almighty has neither a wife nor a child. فَمَاذَا تَبَغُونَ. What then do you want? And they will also say, عَطِشْنَا يَا رَبَّنَا فَاسْقِنَا. O our Lord, we are thirsty, therefore give us water to drink. Our noble scholar Imam al-Qurtubi, he mentioned on his commentary of this hadith, and the ayah in Surah Al-A'raf, where the people of the hellfire would call the people of Jannah, and they would say to them, give us some water to drink, right? He said the best charity one can give is water. So if you dig a well for people to come and drink from it, or give it to their animals to drink from, that is one of the best acts of worship one can give. And he also gave example of the lady who gave the dog water to drink, right? So again, I'm just saying, because I mentioned this, that they will cry asking for water because they will be extremely thirsty. So water is one of the best sadaqah you can give. So if you know people, and there are people today, suffering because they don't have access to water like we do here. You think that the life here is the norm, but the life here is the abnormal, right? You see, most of the people of the world, you go to some villages and rural areas, they don't have access to clean water. So if Allah Almighty bless you to be able to go to these places and dig a well, that will be one of the best charity that you can do. Perhaps it will be sort of a jariyah for you, and that may save you from the punishment of the hellfire. That could be the reason why you will get some intercession on the day of judgment. That's why the Prophet said, do not belittle an act of kindness. Alright, so back to the hadith. They will say, we are thirsty, O our Lord, therefore give us some water to drink. Then Jahannam will be pointed at for them. It will be said to them, "Would you go and get some water?" ثم يشرون إلى جهنم. Then they will be dragged to the hellfire. يحكم بعضهم بعضا. Some of them crushing the others until they will end up into the hellfire. The Prophet ﷺ said, حتى إذا لم يبقى إلا من كان يعبد الله وحده من برهم وفاجرهم. Until when it is left with only those who used to worship Allah the Almighty alone. From the time of Adam والسلام, till the time of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Prophet said the good of them and the bad of them. Then Allah the Almighty will appear to them and He will say to them, "Do you know your Lord?" And they will say, "Yes, we know our Lord." Allah will say, "Is there any sign with which you will know your Lord?" And they will say, "Yes." فَيُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ. Then the shame will be exposed. The Prophet said, when the shame is exposed, فَلَا يَبْقَ أَحَدٌ مِمَّنْ كَانَ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ مِنْ تِلْقَاءِ نَفْسِهِ إِلَّا أَذِنَ اللَّهُ لَهُ بِالسُّجُودِ. All those who used to worship Allah the Almighty sincerely, Allah the Almighty will give them the permission to make sujood, and they will make sujood to Allah the Almighty. But all those who used to worship Allah the Almighty out of hypocrisy and out of Riyah, in showing off, Allah the Almighty will make their backbone stiff. Whenever they want to make sujood, they will not be able to make sujood. So what's going to happen? They will fall right on their face, because they will not be able to make sujood. So this is the interpretation of the statement of Allah the Almighty, يَوْمَ يُكْشَفُ عَنْ سَاقٍ. On the day when the shame will be exposed, وَيُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ. And they will be called to make sujood, فَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ. But they will not be able to make sujood. The reason being is because they used not to make sujood when they were in dunya. And if they do it, they are only doing sujood out of hypocrisy, but they're not doing it for the sake of Allah the Almighty. So we ask Allah the Almighty to make us among those who are sincere in their actions and their statements. Ameen. Then He the Most High said, خَاشِعَةً أَبْصَارُهُمْ تَرْحَقُهُمْ ذِلَّةً. Meaning their faces on that day will be downcast. تَرْحَقُهُمْ ذِلَّةً. They will be covered and overwhelmed with humility and with humiliation. The reason being is وَقَدْ كَانُوا يُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى السُّجُودِ وَهُمْ سَالِمُونَ. Because they used to be called to make sujood when they were healthy, when they were able to do it, but they did not do sujood. So for those who are not praying to Allah the Almighty, and it's amazing that there are some people from the day they were born till the day they will die, they have never made one sujood to Allah the Almighty. Never make one sujood. So if Allah the Almighty allow you to make sujood for Him, then you have to be grateful to Allah the Almighty. Because this is one of the greatest bounty of Allah the Almighty on you. Just think about it. How many are there who are not praying? How many are there who are not expressing humility to their Lord? So if Allah the Almighty chose you and grants you the privilege of making sujood to Him, you have to be grateful to Allah the Almighty for that. He the Most High said, فَذَرْنِي وَمَنْ يُكَذِّبُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ سَنَسْتَدْرِجُهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Therefore, leave me alone to deal with those who reject this hadith. And this hadith is referring to the Quran. So Allah Almighty is warning those who are rejecting the Quran. So leave me alone, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to deal with those who reject this Quran. سَنَسْتَدْرِجُهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. We will give them respite from a direction that they will not know. And istidraj is a test that Allah Almighty is testing those who are sinning against Him or who are disbelieving in Him. When you continue to disbelieve in Allah and to transgress the set limits of Allah, and Allah Almighty continue to give you more and make your life easy, He's only giving it to you so that you will continue to disbelieve in Him. So in reality, this is a punishment. It is not a blessing. It is not mercy at all. May the Almighty grant us understanding of the deen. Amen. So He the Most High said He will continue to grant them respite from a direction that they may not know, until when he sees them, they will not be able to escape. And this is what happened to Fir'aun and his host. Allah Almighty has given Fir'aun everything that he wants. Our scholars mentioned, the scholars of Tariq, they said Fir'aun remained for how many years? Like for decades. He has never experienced no headache, no sickness, nothing. He has what he wants. Everything he wants, Allah has given him. And that has pushed him to claim divinity because of what Allah the Almighty has given him, not knowing that this is a test. Until when Allah the Almighty sees him, this is when he realized to submit to Allah when it is already too late. He the Most High said, أَمْ تَسْأَلُهُمْ أَجْرًا فَهُمْ مِنْ مَغْرَمٍ مثقلون. Said, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are you asking the people of Mecca to pay for the da'wah that you are giving them? And is this because of that they are finding it difficult to believe in you? Of course, the answer is what? No. The Prophet is not asking them for any money. Like Allah the Almighty said, قُلْ مَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ أَجْرٍ. Say to them, I'm not asking you for any money. I'm not asking you, I'm not charging you for the da'wah. All that I want from you is to say La ilaha illallah. So why is it so difficult for you to believe? So here the Messiah is saying, oh, are you asking them for some money? Because if I ask you to pay $100 to come and pray, dhuhr, I mean for each prayer, I'm going to charge you to pray what? $100. Maybe, that will probably push some people away because it's difficult for them, it's a burden on them. So Allah is saying, is it a burden on them? Are you asking them for some fees? That is why they don't want to believe? I mean, what is so difficult for you? Like usually when I talk to my Christian brothers in humanity, sometimes they come to the masjid, like college students will come to the masjid and we'll talk to them, right? And I say to them, what is it in Islam that turns you away from believing in Islam? I mean, is it because we believe in La ilaha illallah? Is it because we're calling you to worship Allah the Almighty alone? Like, is there any other God that deserves to be worshipped beside Allah? Of course, the answer is what? No. Is it because we are calling you to believe in the angels and their existence? I mean, is it because we're asking you to pray 5 times a day, to maintain constant relationship between you and your Creator? Is it because we ask you to give zakat and support the needy person? Is it because we ask you to fast in the month of Ramadan to strengthen your iman and your sincerity with your Lord, and to strengthen your body? Because the more you fast, the healthier you become. I mean, is it because we ask you to perform pilgrimage to the sacred house of Allah the Almighty? Like, is it because we said do not drink alcohol, do not commit fornication and adultery? What is it that will turn you away from Islam? Of course, the answer is what? There is nothing. Then what is stopping you from believing? What is the burden? So this is what Allah the Almighty is referring to when He said, "Am tas'aluhum ajran, fahum min maghramin muthqalun. Am indahumul ghaybu fahum yaktubun." Or do they have the knowledge of the unknown, that on the day of judgment they will be safe and secure? Are they guaranteed that on the day of judgment they are safe and secure? That is the reason why they don't want to believe. That He the Most High said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ وَلَا تَكُنْ كَصَاحِبِ الْحُوتِ إِذْ نَادَى وَهُوَ مَكْظُومٌ. Be patient with the decision of your Lord. وَلَا تَكُنْ كَصَاحِبِ الْحُوتِ. And do not be like the companion of the whale. Who is the companion of the whale?
The one that got swallowed by the big
The one that got swallowed by the whale.
Oh, I thought you said whale.
No.
The whale.
Yeah, right?
Yunus.
Yunus?
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yunus?
Yeah.
Yunus.
You agree with them?
It's Yunus, it is.
Sarah said, yeah, I agree.
Mm.
So,
Yes,
it's Yunus, right?
Yeah.
So Yunus is Swahili. There is another name for Yunus in the Quran. What is it? So we call him Swahib al-Hud, Yunus, and what else? The ayah in Surah.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh,
It's in Surah Al-Anbiya.
yeah.
And the dua of Yunus came afterwards.
Something of the fish.
All right.
Oh,
وَذَا النُّونِ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مُغَاضِبًا فَظَنَّ أَن لَّن نَّقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ. Right? فنادى في الظلمات أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. So the Nun is one of the name of Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam. So Allah Muhammad said, do not be like the Nun. إِذْ نَادَى وَهُوَ مَظْلُوم, when he invoked his Lord while he is مظلوم. Maghdum means he is magmum. Magmum means to be in a state of severe sadness and anxiety. Right? He was in a state of what? Severe sadness and anxiety. The reason being is because all of you know the story of Yunus in brief. You know, he was sent to these people. They are about 100,000 or more. He the Messiah mentioned in Surah Safat, وَأَرْسَلْنَاهُ إِلَى مِئَةِ أَلْفٍ أَوْ يَزِيدُونَ. And we sent him to 100,000 people or even more. Right? فَآمَنُوا فَمَتَّعْنَاهُمْ إِلَى حِينٍ. So at the end they believed. So Yunus was sent to them and they rejected Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam. So Yunus asked for, punishment because he was angry at them. Like Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam said, after being patient for 950 years, Nuh said, رَبِّ لَا تَذَرْ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ دَيَّارًا. He said, oh Allah, do not spare on the face of this earth any of these disbelievers. And then say, the reason is because if you leave them on the face of the earth, يُضِلُّ عِبَادَةً, they will send your slaves astray. وَلَا يَلِدُ إِلَّا فَاجِرًا كَفَّارًا, and they will not give birth to any righteous child, meaning they will continue to give birth to children who will grow up to inherit their disbelief. So destroy them all. So Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam, when he made dua, he did not wait for Allah the Almighty to give him the permission to leave, and he left. So he ended up being tested. He jumped into, the story of the boat. So he ended up in the belly of the well. So Allah is telling the Prophet ﷺ to be patient with the people of Mecca. Right? Be patient with them and do not be like the Nun, who was very impatient. And at the end, he ended up in the belly of the well. He the Messiah said, لَوْلَا أَن تَدَارَكَهُ نِعْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ لَنُبِذَ بِالْعَرَاءِ وَهُوَ مَذْمُومٌ. Allah had it not been because the ni'mah of his Lord has reached him. And that is the forgiveness of Allah the Almighty. Because when he called Allah the Almighty has listened to his call and saved him from the belly of the well. Allah the Almighty mentioned in Surah Safat saying, فَلَوْلَا أَنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْمُسَبِّحِينَ. Had it not been because Yunus was amongst those who glorified their Lord, لَلَبِثَ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. He would have remained in the belly of the well till the day of judgment. But because of his glorification, Allah the Almighty has saved him. So as Khalid said, one of the means of being saved from the punishment of Allah the Almighty is constant glorification of Allah the Almighty. So tasbih And asking Allah the Almighty for forgiveness, crying to Allah the Almighty is one of the means of relief. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man lazima al-istighfar," the one who adopts and cultivates the habit of asking forgiveness of Allah the Almighty, جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لَهُ مِنْ كُلِّ هَمٍّ فَرَجًا. Allah the Almighty will grant him a relief from every difficulty. And Allah the Almighty will grant him a way out from every narrow situation. And Allah the Almighty will sustain him from the direction that he may not perceive. So here the Most High said, فَجِتَبَاهُ رَبُّهُ. So as a result, his Lord chose him, فَجَعَلَهُ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ, and he made him amongst the righteous. وَإِن يَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَيُزْلِقُونَكَ بِأَبْصَارِهِمْ لَمَّا سَمِعُوا الذِّكْرَ وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّهُ لَمَجْنُونٌ. Allah the Almighty said, those who disbelieve will fain have dislodged you. Those who disbelieve, which is referring to the disbelievers. Allah the Almighty said they almost get rid of the Prophet ﷺ with their look. Our scholars said this ayat is a proof that ayn is real, meaning evil eye is real. Because he the Messiah mentioned here that they almost let you slip and destroy you with their look. Whenever they listen to the Prophet ﷺ read the Quran. So, evil eye is real. Our noble scholar, Imaam Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, he mentioned in his book, Madarij al-Salikin, he resembled people with evil eye, he resembled them with animals that are poisonous, like snakes and scorpions, right? And he said, if you want to shield yourself from the poison of snake and scorpion, what do? You put something around, right? So that when they bite you, it will not penetrate, all right? How do you shield yourself from those who have the nature of snake and scorpion? Adhkar, right? So your adhkar is what will save you from evil eye. That's why our scholars said even if somebody want to put evil eye on you, if they say something about you that you think it will end up having an evil eye on you, you have to remember to say, Masha Allah la quwwata illa billah. So the adhkar of Sabah and Masa are one of the best means of protecting ourselves from evil eye. So what do they say when they say the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّهُ لَمَجْنُونَ, and they say indeed the Prophet is majnun, insane. And this is the same accusation that they said about the Prophet in the beginning of the surah. But Allah the Almighty said, "Ma anta bi ni'mati rabbika bi majnun." Indeed, you Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by the mercy and the favor of your Lord on you, you are not a majnun. وَمَا هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Allah the Almighty said, this Quran is no other than a reminder for humanity in general. So we ask Allah the Almighty to make us amongst those who read this Quran and put the teachings of the Quran into practice and in. So in brief, this session, the verses of this surah is 52 altogether, which is Al-Qalam, the pen. We talk about the pen and the importance of the pen, and that it is the first thing that Allah the Almighty has created. And then we talk about the character of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he is the best example for us. We also talk about those whom Allah the Almighty commanded us not to follow their footsteps, including the liars, those who are backbiters, slanderers, gossipers, to the end. And then we also mention the story of the people of the garden and the lesson that we take from it, and that is to give when Allah the Almighty gave you, and to repent after stumbling. And then we mention the day of judgment and what will happen to the Jews, the Christians, and what will happen to the hypocrites when the shame will be exposed. That they will not be able to make sujood because they used not to make sujood. And if they make sujood in this dunya, they are only making it out of riyah, to show off. But the true believers, Allah the Almighty will allow them to make sujood because when they were making sujood in this dunya, they were doing it sincerely for Allah the Almighty alone. And then we mentioned about istidraj, and that is enticement, how Allah the Almighty enticed those who continue to disbelieve and sin against Him until when He seizes them, they will not be able to escape. And then we mentioned how Allah the Almighty is asking the Prophet ﷺ if he is asking the kuffar of Quraysh for fees for his da'wah. That is the reason why they are finding it difficult to believe. Why is it that they are finding it difficult to believe when the da'wah is free? Nobody is asking you for money to believe in Allah the Almighty. And then we mentioned the comparison between the Prophet ﷺ and Yunus ﷺ, that Allah the Almighty commanded the Prophet not to be like Yunus, and Yunus was very impatient. He was not able to withstand the disbelief and the behavior of his people. But as a da'i, you have to get yourself prepared for the people, because that's the reason why when you read the Quran, Allah the Almighty is narrated to the Prophet ﷺ the stories of the previous messengers so that the Prophet will learn from them. Like Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, meaning the people of Mecca rejected you. Know that you're not the first person to be rejected. So as a da'i, sometimes you come to people, you talk to them, and they don't believe in what you're saying, or they don't take what you are saying. Don't get angry. Some people get angry because you told them the truth and they did not take it. Who are you? You have to remember, a prophet will come on the day of judgment and he will have only one follower. A prophet will come with only 2 followers, and a prophet will come with no followers at all. So who are you to be angry because you tried giving someone da'wah and he did not take it? Just be patient. Turn to Allah and ask Allah the Almighty to reward you for what you're doing. What is upon us to do is to convey the message, but we cannot impose the message on others. So we ask Allah the Almighty to make us among those who read the Quran, ponder over its meaning and put it into practice. Ameen. And we also mentioned that the kuffar of Quraysh wanted to put evil eye on the Prophet ﷺ when they hear him recite the Quran, and then they say he is Majnun. And that is a proof that evil eye is real, and that the Prophet ﷺ said Ayn is real, and that evil eye will put a camel into the pot before its time. Meaning evil eye can let you slaughter your camel and eat it before its time. And that evil eye will put a man in a grave before its time. So we seek refuge with Allah the Almighty from evil eye. Ameen. Remember, Surah Falaq said, وَمِن شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدَ, and from the evil of the envier as he envies. And envy is the cause of evil eye. Mayu da pegang sugihan duka malam. Mayu da suke gidan duka evil eye ke kashe su shehu. I'm serious. I'm not playing. Masu hasada. So we ask Allah the Almighty to grant us protection from that. Ameen. Inshallah, this is the ending of Surah Qalam. Tomorrow we'll continue with Surah Al-Haqqa, which is the inevitable, and this is referring to the day of judgment. We will mention some of the names of the day of judgment along with that, inshallah. If you have any question, we will take it, and if you don't, we will end our class here, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. Ya Abdul Kareem.
So, how many years did Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, call to his people?
Allah the Almighty mentioned in Surah Al-Ankabut, وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا نُوحًا إِلَى قَوْمِهِ فَلَبِثَ فِيهِمْ أَلْفَ سَنَةٍ إِلَّا 50 عَامًا. Right? We have sent Noah to his people and he lived with them, meaning calling them to Dawah for 1,000 years except 50. So 950 years. And could you imagine, he the Messiah said, وَمَا آمَنَ مَعَهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. And no one believed with Noah except a few. So for 950 years of da'wah, only few people believe in Noah alayhi salatu wassalam. And they will say to Noah alayhi salatu wassalam, لَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهِ يَا نُوحُ لَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمَرْجُومِينَ. If you did not desist from so doing, meaning that da'wah that you're giving us, we will surely stone you. And they will stone Noah alayhi salatu wassalam, and they will think that Noah is dead. But then the next day, Allah the Almighty will give him what? Strength. Back to da'wah. You know, so no, he went through a lot. Now, Jaddul Anbiya. Now, Habibi. أي تعليق؟ طيب. شكرا. جزاكم الله خيرا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.